What's going on, you guys? Have you been looking to put a little bit of meat in your mac and cheese? Well, that's exactly what I'm bringing you guys today, because on today's episode, I'm hooking up pulled pork mac and cheese. Welcome back to another episode of Smell What Coop Is Cooking, your favorite internet cooking show. I'm your host, Coop. Each week I show you guys how to make super fire, super delicious, restaurant quality meals right in your own home. Full recipe for this one's in the description. Let's go. All right, here I've got about 3 pounds of pork shoulder. I'm gonna pat this dry, hit it with some mustard, rub that bad boy down. Make sure you get it coated on all sides. Now let's hit it with this delicious pork rub that I've made here on the channel before. Make sure you get that pork shoulder coated in all of that rub, get it in all the nooks and crannies and crevices for maximum flavor. Next, let's go ahead and sear up this seasoned pork shoulder. Gonna sear this bad boy on all sides for about 2 minutes each. This will help develop a crust on our pork shoulder and add to that amazing flavor. And with all sides seared, I'm gonna add 1 bottle of beer into my crock pot. Feel free to use the beer of your choosing or skip beer entirely and use beef stock. Next, let's bless the whole pot with some more of that pork rub. Go ahead and set your crock pot to high, and we're gonna cook this for about 4 hours. Appreciate you being here for another episode of Smell What Coop Is Cooking. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you hit that button, press the bell so you don't miss any of these hot episodes. All right, and while that pork is hooking up with about an hour or so left in its cook, let's start making this mac and cheese. I've made mac and cheese here on the channel several times, try to bring you guys a different recipe every time I make it. For this recipe, we're gonna be making a liquid mixture that's gonna go in our cheese sauce. This mixture is gonna contain half and half sour cream, 1 can of condensed cheddar cheese soup, and 1 tablespoon of truffle hot sauce. Give that a good mix, and this is gonna be going in our cheese sauce. Inside my Dutch oven, I'm going in with some butter, little minced garlic. Once that melts down, we're gonna slowly stir in about 1 cup of flour. Keep adding in that flour and stirring it up until you get a nice clay-like consistency, a little something like this. Now the fat from the butter is combined with that flour, cooked out the raw edge of the flour a little bit. Now I'm gonna start with whisking in about 2 cups of milk to start out with. I just wanna keep slowly pouring and whisking until this comes to a nice smooth consistency. Now that we got our bechamel going, let's go ahead and add that cheese sauce we made a bit earlier. Slowly whisking that in to incorporate that into our delicious cheese sauce we got going on here. And once that cheese sauce is added, it's time to start hitting this bad boy up with some delicious shredded cheese. I've got sharp shredded cheese here. This yellow cheddar cheese is gonna add to that yellow pop that we're always looking for with our macaroni and cheese. As you can see, that cheese sauce is looking good. Now it's time to season it up. Going in, I've got some garlic powder, onion powder, mustard powder, paprika, and black pepper. If you've noticed, I haven't added any salt to this dish at all yet. I'm gonna be boiling my noodles in salty water, and the butter I use for this is of the salted variety, so I'm gonna go in with just a small pinch right here at the end. Now our super fire, super delicious cheese sauce has been made. It's time to hook up our pasta. Got a large pot of boiling water going on the stove here. I threw in about 1.5 tablespoons of chicken bouillon. Next, we're going in with some cavatappi pasta noodles. And once your pasta noodles are cooked to your desired texture, go ahead and remove them from that water and add them straight into your cheese sauce. Don't worry if some of that pasta water gets over, it's just gonna add in thickening our sauce. And once we've given that a good mix and got all of that pasta coated in that cheese sauce, it's time to add it to our baking dish. Brush this bad boy down with some butter. Now let's pour in this super fire, super delicious macaroni and cheese directly into our pan. Flatten it out, make it nice and even. Here I've got some mozzarella pearls. I'm gonna sprinkle these all over my dish. This is gonna help add another layer of cheesy goodness. Hit it with some more of that freshly shredded sharp cheddar cheese. A little sprinkle of pecorino romano going on top. Now let's cover this dish with foil and throw it in a preheated 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. After 20 minutes have passed, let's go ahead and remove our foil and let it cook for an additional 10 minutes. Now our macaroni and cheese is nice and bubbly, but I'm looking for a little bit more color on top. So I'm gonna pop this into the broiler for about a minute, minute and a half, just long enough to get some good color on top. And after about a minute or so underneath the broiler, this mac and cheese is done. Let's wrap this back in foil, set it aside for a second while we finish our pork. Anything you would switch up on this recipe? Let me know in the comment section. 4 hours have passed. Let's head back over to the crock pot and take a look at our delicious pork shoulder. Next, let's remove this pork from the crock pot. Grab 2 forks and start shredding that bad boy up until you've got a tray of delicious pulled pork just like this. Here you can see I have some fat and liquid that I saved from the bottom of the crock pot. Just gonna drizzle that all over this pulled pork to help moisten it up a little bit and add that flavor from the fat back into our pork. All right, now that all of our major components have been completed, let's go ahead and plate up. Let's go ahead and get a big scoop of this mac and cheese onto our plate. Cover it with the generous helping of that super fire, super delicious crock pot pulled pork. Got a little bit of Coop's original barbecue sauce left here. I've made this one on the channel for you guys as well before. Gonna drizzle this barbecue sauce all over my pulled pork. Finish the plate off with some dry chives. And there you have it, folks. Coop's super fire, super delicious pulled pork, macaroni and cheese. You can see those pasta noodles have perfectly coated in our cheese sauce, tender shredded pulled pork on top, and Coop's signature barbecue sauce to finish. This is about to be super fire. Let's grab a fork for this week's Scoop for Coop. Let's go in for a bite. Get a look at that cheese pull, y'all. Man, this one is another banger.
After banger! After banger! After banger!
The flavors from the macaroni and cheese mixed with that tender pulled pork and the sweetness from that barbecue sauce on top. This one's a comfort food classic that I know you're gonna love. Thank you for rocking with your boy for another episode of Smell What Coop Is Cooking. Let me know what you guys thought of this one in the comment section. Check you guys right back here next week for another episode. But until then, don't forget to like the video, share with friend or foe you already know. And for any special business inquiries,
Investors? Possibly you!
hit your boy up at smellwhatcoopiscooking@gmail.com. We'll catch you guys right back here for another episode of Smell What Coop Is Cooking. I'm out.